August. So you are listening or watching, if you're on YouTube or on Spotify, the Soulful Cream podcast. Our audio versions play on Apple iTunes podcasts and every other podcast situation that you can listen to, but on Spotify and on YouTube, you can watch the video if you're so inclined. Myself, I tend to favor audio because, I can put it in my ear, and also I don't think I'm a model, so I'm not particularly in love with watching myself on camera. But hey, if you like it, I love it. Apparently it's what the people want, and I want to give the people what they want. So anyway, I am Cream Diggler, and you are listening to the Soulful Cream podcast. In this episode of the podcast, we are doing a series that I'm calling the Enlightenment series. And we will be talking about different issues around self-help, enlightenment, self-improvement, things like this. Now, trust me, we are not getting away from the salacious, the pop culture, the what's eating us up in the news stuff. We're still doing that and going to get even back more into our sketch comedy. Trying to figure out how to do that better on YouTube. It works out a little bit better when it's just audio, but YouTube is forcing me to go another route with that. Okay, so today's episode, we are going to be talking about, to me, the exhausting pursuit of self-actualization. And what do I mean by that? In layman's terms, I mean just the simple, constant feeling that I have to improve myself, that I have to, be better. It's this the process of always becoming, right? That I can't just freaking sit down and relax. That I always got to be on some kind of development kick. How can I be better? How can I do better? And sometimes, frankly, it's annoying, right? It's annoying always thinking about, what was that? I just want a fucking tooth. How can I do better? How can I be better? Can be an annoying thing to always have to think about. And I just saw something in my teeth. I'm so pissed because I was at dinner with people from work, and this piece of whatever's probably been sitting in my tooth for all night long. And I'm gonna read because one of those people is supposed to be a friend of mine, and they set up and let me sit in their face talking all night with shit in my tooth. I'm not embarrassed because we all get shit in our teeth, but I'm just a little, disappointed because you're supposed to be my friend, and you didn't tell me that I was sitting up here with shit in my tooth all half the night. Anyway, sorry y'all, I digress clearly. But anyway, so yes, we're going to do this Enlightenment series, and I'm talking about self-actualization. And it is just, this idea that we're always having to be better, do better. I was watching a reality show. Kendra. You remember Kendra from Playboy. You know, she was in the Playboy Mansion. I think when Hugh Hefner had a reality show with the Playgirls, she was in there. Kendra married that basketball player, I think, who, well, let's just say he didn't quite turn out to be who she thought he was. But so she has a reality show where she tries real estate and she's trying to break into real estate. And it's a fun little show, little nice little distraction. But that's not really what I wanted to talk to you about. There was a quote that this woman says in there that Kendra is working with. The woman says to her, she says, if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. If you do what is hard, your life will be easy. And that really struck me. And I'm sure she is not the first person to say this quote. Matter of fact, I know she's not, because I Googled the quote and I saw several different people said it. Les Brown said it. I don't know if he was the originator of the quote, but it's a great quote. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. If you do what is hard, your life will be easy. Whew. Doesn't that mean a lot? Does that resonate with you the way it resonates with me? I always say, having dreams is a bitch because you feel unsatisfied. Being self-aware is for the birds because it keeps you unsatisfied. You recognize that, I have a fupa. My cardio, when I walk up these stairs, my cardio's not good. I would like to, I make good money, but I need to be saving even more for retirement. And let me think about that. And is saving for retirement enough? Should I be also thinking about having an even more luxurious life in retirement? Do I need to make even more money, have even more money saved? And should I be saving even more than I'm doing? And I'm not working out enough, and I'm not doing this enough, and it's freaking exhausting. It's exhausting, right? Sometimes just living is exhausting. It's exhausting, and I guess the question of, man, do we ever freaking arrive? Do we ever arrive to that point, to where we're trying to be? Can we ever really take a break? And not just a little break, like a week vacation. I mean, just like take a fucking break. And the answer is no. We're always going to be in this need to do a little better. But as I think about it, though, I think about the stars who make so much money that now they don't really have to work, or they can take a year off and say no to jobs. I remember Rachel McAdams in some interview she was doing for the new movie she has coming out. What is it? It's Me, Margaret. Are You There, God? I think that's the name of the movie that's based on the Judy Blume book. That's that book where the girls say, we must increase our bust. We must increase our bust. We must increase our bust. Okay, anyway. Yeah, it's that movie based on that book, and she was talking about how she took a year off. Lucky her. To be able to do that. And I'm not hating on her. Good for her. But I guess for me, I can see being happy coming back to work after I was able to take a year off. I can see that. But anyway, I digress again. But when I think about my own life, my own pursuits, I went to school to become a teacher at one point. I became a teacher at the same time that I was acting. And hold on one second. My baby's calling me and let them know I'm doing a podcast. Hey, I'm recording an episode. I'll call you back, okay? All right, love you. Bye. So, yeah. So I went to school because I wanted to become a teacher, and I became a teacher. At the same time, I was doing some acting because I thought would make me a better teacher, and because that's what I was teaching was acting. I went to graduate school because I realized I didn't like teaching high school kids. I went and taught high school kids, and I was like, oh, this doesn't make me happy. But I still want to be a teacher, so let me go and go to graduate school and become a professor so I can do that. And I did it. And I finished grad school, became a professor. At the same time, I was directing, finding happiness in both of these places. But then I came to a point where I wanted to do more and thought I could be even more helpful. And I became an administrator. At the same time, I'm writing. And as I became a writer, I'm still doing all of the above that I just mentioned. And then I decided I needed to do podcasting so I could have that outlet to express myself in this kind of way. And I've been 180 pounds, I've been 280 pounds, I've been 320 pounds, I've been 350 pounds, and I've been back to 300 pounds, and I've been back up to 320, 360, 380, 400, and over. Every step of the way, I was not happy with my body. Every step of the way, I always found something wrong. Why do all of this? Why would I go through all that schooling and still be doing all of this other stuff in addition to, on the side of, what have you? Why not find happiness in who I was at whatever weight that I was at the various stages of my life? In this pursuit of happiness is ultimately what it all is, right? It's all ultimately a pursuit of happiness, the pursuit of my own self-actualization. A part of me wants to believe that money will fix everything, but I know better. Like if I won the Powerball tomorrow, I'd be set. And I'd be set, but still, I would have a new set of problems, right? I would, how am I going to still be a contributing member to society? Is it enough to just write a check? Do I want to still work? Yada, yada, yada. I don't know. But my research tells me that we should just suck it up because we will never be totally happy. And that's just the human condition, because if we were able to just be totally happy, we'd all still be sleeping in caves. But because we have this need as humans to be better, to do better, it's why we decided to go from sleeping in caves to sleeping in huts and teepees to cabins to houses to McMansions, because it's the human condition to want to do a little better. But it also is the human condition to be exhausted by all this, right? Always feeling the need to innovate or to improve at work, at home, in our own selves. It is exhausting. It can be exhausting. But the fact is, exhausting, even though it is exhausting, we all do need that little Jiminy Cricket on our shoulder, talking to us, nudging us along, because as long as that Jiminy Cricket is there, it ultimately means we're alive and that we're living a life that is well balanced. in a Billy Joel song, Vienna is the name of the song by Billy Joel. There's a line in it that says, "But don't you know, only fools are satisfied. But don't you know, only fools are satisfied." I guess we're not satisfied because we're not fools. So great. I'm not a fool, but I'm tired. How can we make this work? How can we make this life work knowing this? I think we have to live a more purposeful life. We have to plan and plot out and still leave room for life, but we gotta make this next chapter filled with a bit more purpose. And I don't have all the answers, of course. So what we're going to do is we're going to lean on the experts. So I just started reading, aka listening to on Audible, to a book that Steve Harvey recommended in an interview that he was doing when people were asking him about his success and how to be successful. And a book he mentioned was The 6 Habits of Growth by Brendon Burchard. Now, I remember I was watching a TikTok video and this guy was saying, you don't need all these self-help books. All you need to do is go out and do it. Go out and do the thing. And I agree to a certain extent. We just need to go out and do the thing. If you want to go to school, go to school. Sign up for it and go do it. But I also think there's some things that it's helpful to kind of have a plan for when you're not feeling as motivated, so that maybe you have your motivation written down in front of you. It's like when you are going through and planning your degree for college, it's helpful to see these are the different goals. These are the different classes I need to check off. This is the map, if you will, for getting me from point A to point B, from freshman to graduating senior, or first year grad student to my doctoral degree. It's good to have a plan. And so we're going to be listening to this book. I hope you will be joining me. And this is what's going to be part of the Soulful Creams podcast Enlightenment series. And I'll be discussing different sections of the book, but also describing the efforts of putting the book into action, right? So I'll be talking about my journey using this book. I've also told my partner that he will also be doing this with me and that we'll be doing this together. And I'll tell you about his experience if he doesn't want to join me on the podcast and talk about his experience firsthand and how it is helping me towards my own journey, because I still have, I've accomplished a lot, but I still have so many things I want to do. And I think sometimes success can hamper our hunger. And I think maybe my success has hampered my hunger a little bit. And so I want to just be a little bit more purposeful in my plotting for my next stage of my life. Because I'm 48 years old. If I'm lucky, I'll live at least another 30 or 40 years. I don't know if I want to live, past 90, but, another 30 years at least, that's some good living. That's a lot of good loving. That's a lot of good, good times can be had during that time, and a lot of laughs and joy can be had in 30 years of life. And so I want to make sure that this next stage of my life, it's 48, so I'm 48. So this next 40 years are going to be just fantastic, right? And full of all the things I want. And I want that for you too. As a listener of the Soulful Cream podcast, I want us all to be on that success train, whatever success means to you. I don't mean we're all trying to go out there and get all the money. But I do want us all to be living our best life and not begrudging the day. You know what I mean? So download The 6 Habits of Growth by Brendan Burchard. I believe is it on Kindle? It's somewhere between $8 and $12. I don't think it's much more than that. Please join me on it. We'll probably be doing these types of the Enlightenment episodes in addition to the regular Tuesday episodes that happen. So let's say the Enlightened episodes will probably, hit on the weekend, come out like on Sunday, similar to somebody's Soulful Sundays. But we're not doing Soulful Sunday because that would be a copyright infringement, I think. So I'm not doing that. But I'm just saying Sunday's a good day to talk about enlightened stuff, right? I think so. So that's it. You have been listening to the Soulful Cream podcast. And don't be exhausted. We're trying to better yourself. We're going to do it. We're going to make it. We're going to keep on pushing. And I think the next episode coming out on this coming Tuesday is an episode where I talked to a gentleman about his significant weight loss that he did. And that's a part of the Body Yaddy 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 series we're doing about body and fitness and that type of thing. And actually, I'm talking to this gentleman who, he had diabetes and he lost a lot of weight, and he lost it late in life too. So we're talking about that and how that affected his life. And then I think the week after we have a conversation with a bodybuilder, so a different kind of journey, someone who's always been pretty fit, but who's gone to an extreme level of fitness through his bodybuilding. So I look forward to talking to him, and you guys look out for that in a future episode on one of our Tuesday drops. Once again, I always say this: I appreciate you so much for listening to the Soulful Cream podcast. It is my honor. It is my fortune. I feel fortunate to be able to do the podcast, and I'm grateful that you take the time to even listen. All righty. Take care, and we will talk to you later. Bye.